All right, our next honoree receiving the Power of the Press Award is WBNS's 10 TV's Glenn McIntyre and nominator Angela Ann. Please join me up here on the stage. Glenn McIntyre has been a champion of victims and victims' rights from the day he chose to become a journalist. His reporting on the people and issues of Central Ohio has earned him 5 Emmy Awards and the honor of being named Best Reporter by the Ohio Society of Professional Journalists in 2016. Congratulations, Glenn. And presenting the award is Angela Ann, my sister. At least people think we are.
Right. Thanks, Maria. Love you. So this was a really fun nomination to write because, believe it or not, unlike most TV people, Glenn hates the attention. So I really wanted to recognize Glenn because, you know, the title of this category is called Power of the Press. But I can tell you that Glenn is not one of those people that got into this business because of the power. He really is in the business to inform, to educate, to empower people, to engage people, and that's what a true journalist does when it comes to our profession. And in Glenn's case, you can see from his bio that he really had the power to affect change. I'm not gonna read the entire bio. I invite you to do so when you go home, and really everybody's bio in there, it's just amazing. Which, by the way, Maria, we got dibs on all these stories. I'm just telling you right now. 10 TV's all over it. But that being said, you know, I think we can all agree that today's journalism is far different from what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40. There are some of us who are in it for, you know, the true days of Edward R. Murrow and the reason why those journalists are so great. You know, today we see the headlines, you swipe right, you move on, right? But not Glenn. So he sticks with a story from beginning to end. If he's assigned a story for whatever it is, Glenn is that type of reporter that isn't just going to be a one and done. He is one of those rare reporters that will follow the story through the courts. He'll follow it through adjudication. He'll follow it through the appeals if it goes through that way. And then sometimes journalists will say, oh, well, we got it, you know, the case is done, story's over. Not Glenn. He will go back and do follow-ups with the families a year later, maybe 5 years later. How are they doing? How have their lives changed? And that's the power of the press, when you can show people the importance of the stories that we do today and how they can change people for tomorrow. I do want to mention Judy's Law. Many of you are familiar with Judy's Law. And what really touched me about Glenn and who he is as a person is, you know, he was the first reporter in this market to do a story about Judy Malinowski. And once he did her multi-part series about Judy and the pain that she suffered at the hands of her abuser, and he followed her story, which again you can read. But because of what he did, other stations came on board. Lawmakers realized that there needed to be harsher penalties for people who commit that kind of crime. And Glenn won an Emmy Award for his stories. And most people, when you get an award like an Emmy, right, you put it on the fireplace, you know, sleep with it, you do whatever you can because it's an Emmy Award. Glenn gave it to Judy's daughters, right? So, and when he told me that, I was just like you, but I just thought that is the beauty of Glenn McIntyre. So, you know, when it comes to what you guys see out there on the TV, this is Glenn McIntyre. Behind the scenes, he's also that journalist that is always challenging news managers and new news reporters that are really young nowadays, or I'm just getting older. But he's challenging them to, I know, right? He's challenging everyone to really ask the tough questions. Are we doing justice for the people in our stories? So Glenn, I'm so excited for you, and congratulations.
You went on way too long. A big reason I'm here tonight is because of Angela Ann, not only because she nominated me and was very generous in her nomination, embarrassingly so, but also because of the role model she is at Channel 10. She sets the bar for everyone else. Every journalist that has walked in Channel 10 in the last 19 years that she's been there has benefited from her guidance and her expertise and her focus on the right things, on victims, and on real people and how things affect real people. Her Crime Tracker 10 reporting over 19 years has made Central Ohio smarter and safer, hands down. So thank you, Angela. Thank you. Thank you to the Ohio Crime Victim Justice Center for this honor. I'm so humbled to hear the stories of all these other honorees, and to even be mentioned in the same breath with you is seriously humbling. Most importantly, I want to thank every survivor who has ever trusted me with their story. It's humbling, it's honoring, and that I don't take that trust lightly. These are stories, these are voices that need to be heard. These are voices that change hearts and change minds and change laws in some cases. And if I played any small role in that, then I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
You didn't give me a wrap, so I just kept. Love you.
See, we do get along. And Glenn, congratulations. And to both of you, Class Act, I have known them for several years now, and truly, it was an honor just to be here with the two of you as well.